Welcome back, everyone. Oz here, and today I've got some consequences for you all. As per usual, I'll be reading you the post, giving you my opinions, and I hope you do the same down in the comments below. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. Posted to Consequences by JSMK. The regional collector is Red Earaches. The regional OP is Throw RA Paved 3 to r/relationship advice, June 2023. Content warning for infidelity, victim mentality, and only 2 brain cells. My 28 female, fiance 28 male, has some huge requests in order for him to regain his trust. Is his request too far? We've been together 6 years now, and during the 3rd year of our relationship, I cheated on him with a close family friend. I had started taking him for granted, and it became easy to cheat because I didn't value the relationship. He broke up with me, and we were split for months. In the times I was single, I realized he's a great boyfriend. I begged for him back, and he took me back, and I had to promise to never speak to the guy again. I'm happy to say I never cheated since then, and haven't been tempted at all. I understand how great of a partner I have. That being said, the guy I cheated was a close family friend, and I recently rekindled our friendship behind his back. Nothing romantic. You ever meet someone who's a terrible partner but a great friend? That's him. I hated the fact that I had let a stupid mishap ruin our friendship. My fiance found out and was angry. I apologized and we talked, and he needed space. He sent me a text of his demands to continue the relationship, and I copied and pasted it. His text after doing some thinking: I can't trust you. Whether it was platonic or not, this is the 2nd time that I know of where you violated my trust. The hardest part isn't this, but how I have to wonder how many times you violated my trust or done something behind my back that I just don't know about. You claim this is it, but how can I believe you? I love you and want to work on this relationship, but it's going to require a lot from you. We are postponing our wedding indefinitely. When we first got back together, it took 10 months before I felt secure in the relationship again. I have no idea how long it'll take to feel secure again. Eli, I changed the name, will be blocked on everything, and you are never to speak to him again. This now includes family events. If you know he will be there, do not attend. If you didn't know he attends, you're going to ignore him. I have unrestricted access to phones, social media, emails, etc. Every password I want to know for any device you have. No hanging out with male friends alone. You are to be home by 1 if you do go out with your homegirls. There will be more, but these are my demands, and they aren't up for discussion. If you aren't willing to do it, then the relationship is over. Take your time to think about it. End of text. I called him, but he said he's not arguing with me about it, and don't call him back until I decided what I want to do. I feel that this is extremely harsh considering the fact I didn't cheat this time. Ever since we got back together, I never cheated on him. Too long didn't read, boyfriend has a list of demands to regain his trust, even though I didn't cheat on him. You forgot to put in parentheses the again. Coming from Belta Loda Opa 22. You cheated on him and broke his trust. He stupidly forgave you, and then you went and broke his trust again by getting back in touch with the guy you cheated with. And you're still so incredibly selfish that you don't think it's wrong that you did that. He should never trust you again. You're awful. OP responds, I think I was wrong, but I feel that the punishment doesn't fit the crime. I made a horrible mistake years ago. Being friends with someone doesn't equal cheating, even though I was wrong for going behind his back. Next comment from Impossible Fact 7. Some of the punishments may be a bit on the harsher side, but rekindling the friendship in between you and your affair partner was crossing a line, especially when your fiance gave you a chance most people on here wouldn't have. It looks like you're gonna have to choose your fiance or your ex-affair partner. It may suck, but your own choices are what brought you here. Opie responds, okay, I'll do it. I just need to make sure he wasn't going too far, but if this is what it takes to rebuild his trust... A long comment from Sir Mate Lafroage. You guys should split up. There is zero, count 'em, zero chance of you actually not talking to this dude again. In 6 months, you'll be texting him again because it's not that big a deal. Am I supposed to feel bad forever? And other cheater logic. You didn't let a stupid mishap ruin your friendship. You fucked him while you were with someone else. Until you can grasp that no, you can't be friends with your fucking affair partners, and yes, it is a giant violation of trust that you absolutely should have understood when it happened, you shouldn't date. It does not matter that you didn't cheat the second time. The fact is that your boyfriend doesn't know that. He can't know that. There is no way for you to prove you didn't cheat. And he will, quite simply, never trust you again. Because cheating or no, you willingly and blatantly broke your promise because you wanted to and for no other reason. You didn't give a shit about your boyfriend's feelings. Yes, some relationships can be repaired after infidelity. They can't be repaired, however, when the cheater doesn't actually grasp what they're doing. Sex with others equals bad, is as far as you got. But you're still looking at this list as, here are hoops I have to jump through, and not thinking, how do I earn back the trust of this man I've betrayed multiple times? And to add, just reading over comments again, and yeah, there is no way you'll follow these rules. You're just telling him you will to make him happy, but because you don't actually understand how wrong you were, it's not going to last. You'll break them very, very quickly. OP responds, you don't think I'll follow his rules? Good thing I don't let people tell me what I can't do. I'm going to be laughing when we work through this, get married, and have kids. Good thing I don't let people tell me what I can't do, huh? Update, June 2023. We had a really great conversation and he was vulnerable and said it made him feel like I didn't value him. He was crying and it really hurt me to see the pain I caused him. He told me that please, let's not go forward with this unless I can promise that I won't go behind his back again because he can't go through this pain again. I told him that I promise I will never hurt him again and will always be honest and upfront from now on. We talked about the rules and he said they will be temporary and will be adjusted when we go to couples therapy. Now it's time to put in the work to repair the relationship. I know it will be a lot of work, but I'm prepared. Thank you for the ones who gave constructive feedback. Too long didn't read boyfriend has a list of demands to regain his trust even though I didn't cheat on him and I'm going to follow them. Update, 10 months later. I have a fiance, but I'm falling in love with a married man. April 17th, 2024. So next month I'll married this fall. I've been with amazing guy and we worked through a lot of issues together. I thought I loved him and I think I still do, but not in love with him. About 3 months ago at my job, we got a new coworker who's very handsome and extremely attractive. I mean, I never been so physically attracted to someone in my life. We started to deepen our friendship, but romantic feelings came. I repressed mine, but to my surprise, he confessed his feelings to me as well. I told him we gotta think about our spouses, but our feelings continue to grow. He told me he stopped being affectionate with his wife because he feels like he's cheating on me when he does that. He only wants to be affectionate with me. I've started doing the same thing and haven't been intimate with my partner. The big thing is, a lot of people will be hurt when this comes out. He can't divorce his wife right away because of finances, but he will as soon as possible. I have to call off the wedding, but I really don't want to hurt my current fiance. I think OP is addicted to falling in love. Comment from HowJordan55. He won't divorce his wife. We can also see that you've cheated on him before. I have cheated before, and I'm starting to realize it's because I don't understand being in love. With the guy I'm seeing, we both aren't romantic with our current partners. I don't want to be with anyone but him. Also, he's going to divorce his wife. We have a plan for when his finances get straight. Comment from RTD. Remember 6 months ago when you were telling people not to be so harsh because you have grown as a person and wouldn't ever cheat again? OP responds, this is completely different. The first time I cheated was because I was selfish. This time it was because I fell in love with someone else. I didn't choose this. No one picks who they love. This whole experience has taught me how complex love is, and that I never been in love before. User Hyena Straight 8737 responds, you were selfish and cheated again. And this time you're going to absolutely destroy the man who loves you because you wouldn't do the right thing and end it before you cheated again. You chose this. No one held a gun to your head while you stand there lying to your fiance and everyone in your life. No one made you do this. And no, you don't pick who you love, though you pick who you destroy, and you've made that choice easily. That's not fair. I didn't want any of this to happen. It breaks my heart that I'm going to have to call off the wedding, but he's a great guy, and I'm certain he'll find someone else. I wish I loved him or didn't fall in love with someone else. User Syndicalist Thought comments, why didn't you do it the moment you started fucking the other guy? You promised repeatedly you'd never go behind his back again. How do you live with yourself, you absolutely horrible person? Because life is more complicated than that. I don't want to hurt him and been thinking on the best way to tell him. You guys act like this doesn't hurt for me too. You guys are not being understanding or empathetic. User Blade982 comments, please leave your fiancé. He deserves so much better than you. And tell the married man's wife so she can escape too. And then you can sail off into the sunset with your one true love. Other commenters in the same thread told OP she's gullible about the married guy, but she keeps emphasizing, in her response to Blade, I'm going to tell my fiancé, but we can't tell the other guy's wife yet. He's trying to get his finances in order first. Update. April 18th, 2024. I ended things with my fiancé. I took everyone's advice and decided to end things with my fiancé. This was the hardest thing I had to do in my life. I know you guys think I'm a terrible person, but this is an unimaginable situation to find yourself in. I want everyone to know how much this hurt to do. I really wish I didn't fall in love with someone else. I wish I could make myself fall in love with my fiancé, but I can't. It took me so long to accept this. I hope you guys can understand that I can't convey this enough, that I care about my ex-fiancé. I know this will be the best for us, even though it's hard right now. Comment from user Noonion 508197-2. Did you tell him the truth that you were having an affair, or did you continue to lie to him? A deleted user responds, she definitely lied. Can't keep him as a backup if she's honest. OP responds, I didn't lie. I told him the truth, that I fell in love with someone else. I told him I still care about him. I keep telling you all that I care about him and would never use him as a backup. He's a great guy, and there's a woman out there who will love him and be lucky to have him. There's no reason we both can't be happy. User Lost and Dumbfounded comments, so is your affair partner going to divorce his wife now or keep lying and stringing her along until he sorts out his finances? OP responds, he's going to divorce his wife. Unfortunately, divorce is extremely complicated, but he said he will keep me updated. It's not just finances, but a lot of other legal stuff. Since I wasn't married yet, it was easy to end things. For him, it's a lot more complicated than that. Comment from user YFMAS, don't be surprised if you're still waiting for him to file for divorce 10 years from now. OP responds, no, I was very clear in our conversation today that I want this figured out by the end of the year. That's plenty of time for him to figure out finances and legal stuff. That way by 2025, we can just focus on each other. Newest update, 3 months later, July 3rd, 2024. You guys were right. I realize I treated my fiancé horrible and received my karma. My coworker and his wife are getting a divorce because she found out he was cheating with multiple women. Plural. He's a disgusting animal. He lied to me and others, pretending that we were the only one. I ended things with him. I'm glad he's been exposed. Now regarding my ex-fiancé, I've taken the time to reflect and realize, God fucking damn it! I've taken the time to reflect and realize he's actually my true love. I hate that I hurt him. I reached out again to him, but he said he will always love me, but that he's done with me. That was painful to hear. I just can't get over what my coworker did in destroying multiple relationships, including mine. It's painful to see and experience. Edit. I wasn't clear, but I take responsibility for my actions. Just because I'm condemning his disgusting and manipulative behavior doesn't mean I'm justifying my actions. My actions were horrible, but I've learned from them. Gotta love the commenters calling it from across the field. Is that a saying? No, well it is now. And pretty much spelling out that she's going to end up keeping him around as a second backup. And then when she finds out that no, this isn't actually her true love, what does she do? I've realized he actually is my true love. Girl, be for real. Learn the difference between love and lust, and probably also learn what a crush is too. But checker, everything that everyone warned you about happened exactly as it was called. Honestly, the worst part is it doesn't even seem like you learned your lesson either. I would say consequences, but you're not even comprehending them. Posted to, Consequences by GuitarLove6437. Originally posted from r/best of. The best of itself was collected by Gentle Beeping Heart, and their tagline is, Sometimes I envy the illiterate. The original OP is Philosopher OK9401, posted in r/Am I the Asshole, December 31st, 2023. Am I the asshole for not inviting my mentally unstable cousin to my wedding? I, 25 female, am getting married this coming spring. I've got a cousin named Rose, also 25 female, who was around a lot growing up. Her mother, my aunt, is my mother's sister, and they've always been super close. And my mom adores Rose and her siblings for some reason, and we spent a lot of holidays and summers together when we were growing up. The thing is, Rose is crazy. Her brothers are fine, but Rose is crazy. Every time we're together, she would have a meltdown and throw a temper tantrum if things didn't go her way, and never made any sense. Example, she would throw fits if we went to the beach, but also if she didn't go to the beach. She even broke some of my stuff. She just seems like a very unstable girl. We stopped spending so much time together when Rose's dad got a job in a different state, and they moved away and couldn't afford to fly back as frequently. It's been a while, and I still follow her on social media. She posts a lot about mental health stuff. She goes by a new name, has a new look, and she's even dating some guy. But I don't think it's authentic. I think she's trying to reinvent herself because she used to be such a brat and is trying to make people forget how she used to treat them. I'm pretty sure she has BPD. This Christmas was at my mom's house, and my fiance and I figured that we would hand out the wedding invites there and not risk them getting lost in the mail. Most people at Christmas got one, but Rose, naturally, wasn't invited. I don't want her ruining our special or anything. She was pretty mellow and was talking about her new job and stuff. She came up and told me that she noticed that her brothers had gotten an invite, but I had forgotten to give her one. I told her I didn't think she would want to come, since when we used to get together, nothing seemed right for her. She seemed really taken aback, apologized for how she used to act because she had a lot of stuff to deal with, and said she was sorry that I didn't think she could ever change from when she was a kid. I held firm because this is the first time she's ever apologized to me for how she tried to ruin stuff, and I think she was just trying to manipulate me into getting her way like she always used to. Her family realized that she had never gotten an invite, and one of her brothers called and asked why her sister wasn't invited. I reiterated that I didn't feel comfortable with a mentally unstable woman at my wedding, and he got angry and said that I was stupid for being mad at something that happened so fucking long ago, and that I was being ridiculous and bigoted, and said he didn't want to come either, and hung up. Then Rose's mom called my mom and said that if her daughter was the only family member not invited, that she wasn't going to attend. Now my mom is upset that her sister and nibblings, her word, aren't coming and begged me to just invite Rose. But you can't fully cure mental illness. And I don't want her coming and smashing my cake or something. Am I the asshole? Selected comments. Are you a psychiatrist or mental health professional? If not, you're diagnosing her based on, I don't know, a mommy blog? An unsubstantiated WebMD post? A TV show? She posts a lot about social and political issues and awareness on her Facebook, and BPD is one she mentions a lot. So I think it's the one she has. Like, she posted a lot during BPD Awareness Month. Question, can you invite her for the sake of family peace and hire security to escort out anyone who gets out of line? I feel like hiring security to escort her out when she snaps will still cause a lot of negative attention at my wedding. I don't want to risk anything. Hey, how old was Rose when the original stuff happened? It wasn't great behavior, however, it doesn't necessarily mean she's mentally unwell. She may have been a troubled teen who's now grown up. She's apologized. You don't have to accept it, but her family are not assholes for standing by her and not coming. We were both 12 when she moved away, and oh. Yeah, the stuff you did when you were younger than 12, unacceptable. And 13 years later, I'm gonna hold it against you. Unless there's some other reason why you may not be inviting her to your wedding. We were both 12 when she moved away, and she didn't visit that often afterwards. Even when her brothers came, my aunt and uncle would just say that Rose didn't want to go out, and they didn't want to push her. You're the asshole. You admit you haven't spent time around her in a long time. She was a kid when you had negative experiences with her. Some examples you gave of her bad behavior seem not very bad and pretty typical for a lot of kids, and many outgrow it. It seemed way more violent and not typical. Random things would set her off, like once she went into her room and pulled off the heads of all her Barbies, and one of mine because we were playing together earlier. And another time at her birthday, she was really happy opening presents, and then she unwrapped a new dress my mom got her and started crying and wouldn't tell anyone why she didn't like it. She was fine at Christmas, but since I don't know what triggers her, I don't want to risk it happening at my wedding. OP said she was violent because she took off heads from Barbies One time. The Barbie thing was just one example. From when we were preschool age to when she moved away, she would constantly throw tantrums and throw things and scream and storm out. She always wanted all attention on herself and then got upset when she had all of the attention. She's unpredictable and made holidays a stressful nightmare. Commenter. Hold your ground, it's your wedding. If they don't want to go, so be it. Also, if your mom is not paying for the wedding, she needs to back off. No one should force you into an uneasy situation on your wedding day. Best of luck to you both. My parents are paying for a lot of the wedding, but I don't think that she should refuse to pay if I held my ground. Rose's mom is also offering to pitch in some money. My mom helped pay for her oldest son's wedding, but my fiancé has a really well-paying job, so he can probably make up the difference if she decides to take that money back. So, what you're saying is that it's healthier to never change? It sounds more like you're still stuck in a high school mentality and need to grow up and mature more. It's one thing to change how you act or grow, but you can't just decide one day that you're a completely different person and expect everyone to accept that. Why not? Look, if one day I decided to shave my head and change my name to something completely different and demand people now call me this new name, it would look like I had some sort of mental break. I don't know why people think that this is a stable thing to do. Is Rose part of the LGBTQ community? Why did her brother call you a bigot? I don't think her sexuality is relevant to this. Final result, overwhelming you're the asshole majority. The post was deleted because her account was shadow banned. The next post was posted to both Am I the Asshole and removed, and Am I the Asshole with an H by Accomplished Bat 3100. Am I the Asshole has the most comments. The only difference between the two is r/Am I the Asshole used the name Rose once in the last paragraph. Oops. Am I the asshole for wanting security to accompany my mentally ill cousin at my wedding? Posted January 26, 2024. I, 25 female, am getting married in several months. Sorry if this sounds convoluted. I'm really stressed over this whole thing, and it's sometimes hard to keep my thoughts together. It's a long story, but there's been some drama about me not inviting my cousin, also 25 female, that spiraled into family drama. And now her parents and brothers are threatening to pull out if I don't invite her. I don't want my cousin there because she's mentally ill, I believe BPD. And I have had very bad experiences with her when we grew up together, and I don't believe she's truly improved the way she acts like she has. I feel like she could be a potential threat to my wedding, and I don't want all the attention to be on her having a breakdown, or her trying to smash my cake or interrupt my vows. But my mother, who's very close with her mother and her, is also threatening to pull funding because I'm acting ridiculous for not inviting all of her nibblings. It's causing so much drama, and with my aunt and my mother deciding to take back the offer of money, I wouldn't be able to fully pay for the venue we already have booked. The invites were given about a month ago, and I'm surprised and disappointed that the drama hasn't blown over since then. I got advice on Reddit before that suggested extra security to shadow my cousin specifically. It looked like that was the only way to keep this venue. So I brought it up with my fiancé, and he said he was fine with hiring someone or even having one of his relatives shadow her the entire time and make sure she didn't try anything. So I mentioned it to my mother, but she didn't like the idea. She says my cousin isn't a threat, and I'm being awful towards her. I tried to explain that, rationally, it was the best option. My cousin is a mentally ill woman, and I doubt the venue would appreciate us inviting someone with a known history of destruction and meltdowns. Dog, she was a child. This way, she can have her nieces and nephews and sister at the wedding, and I can have slightly more peace of mind. I'm trying to maintain this boundary, but my mom still insists that I'm being awful for some reason. I'm just trying to maintain the peace while feeling safe at my own wedding. Am I the asshole? Edit. This post is getting brigaded. I would like it if you would stop baselessly speculating on my cousin's sexuality and implying I'm a bad person because of it. Edit 2. For everyone implying my mother is fully funding my wedding, this isn't true. She's contributing a significant amount, but I did not ask her to. She offered. If I had known that the money came with the strings attached, I would have chosen a cheaper venue when planning. Pulling out now would lose my deposit, which I paid for, and cause me to have to do a lot of rescheduling and replanning. I'm not going to give in and let some psycho ruin me and my fiancé's day. To those recommending I go low or no contact with my mother, that isn't an option. I love her and she loves me, and I'm not going to destroy our relationship because of some psycho. Selected comments. As a quick Oz note, not an editor's note, these commenters are unaware of OP's past. as this is a second account and, well, all they have to go off of is the information that OP provided in this post. Selected comments. Not the asshole. To be honest, I would either elope or tell her you'd cut her off if she'd throw you and your day out the window for your cousin. I would also tell her that she won't be seeing her grandkids, if you plan on having them. If you decide to elope, I've canceled my wedding and my fiancé and I are eloping because my own mother has decided my cousin is more important to her. Or scaled on the wedding / take a loan. I do not really support this, but needs must. And just let your mom fuck off. I don't want to cancel or downgrade because I love this venue. She used to ruin things for me when we were kids, and I feel like canceling now is just letting her win again. But also, financially, I don't want to take out a loan. Do you have a day of coordinator at the venue that could be on alert to intervene? We had 2 guests get into a physical altercation at a reception, and our day of coordinator was on top of it so much that only a handful of people knew out of 100+ guests. My husband and I didn't even know until the next day, LOL. We do, and she's fantastic, but she's not very intimidating, and I don't know if she would be able to prevent my cousin from doing something to bring all the attention to herself. Not the asshole. If you have someone shadow her unobtrusively and she doesn't try anything, then no one will know, and your wedding will be great. If there's a problem, then you were justified in your decision. So I would proceed without telling anyone except the groom and maybe some other close friends that can be trusted not to tell anyone about your plan. Yeah, now I'm leaning more towards having one of my fiancé's relatives shadow her. His older brother is great, and we share many of the same values, so I'm sure he'll be up to it. What a weird thing to say! No assholes here. I can't be sure if your mother is dismissive or if you're overly alert. What I can be sure of is the fact that you're under your mother's thumb as long as you let her hold funding over your head. My mother thinks that she's changed, but I think she's too easily trusting. I last saw my cousin at Christmas, and my mom pointed out that my cousin had apologized then, but she only apologized after she realized she had not been invited to the wedding. She never apologized before about how she used to treat me. She also seems to have some sort of breakdown a year ago. She had a radical change in her appearance, shaved her head, and changed her name. Our family thinks it's fine and brave or whatever, but it just reminded me of Britney Spears doing the same thing during her breakdown. I just want to add this as like an Oz frustration note. Your cousin only apologized to you because they were made aware of the fact that you were holding grudges from when they were a child 13 years ago, and longer. So when they found that out, they apologized for their behavior. Anyways, next comment. Time to have a frank conversation with your mother, your aunt, your cousin, and your fiancé via group text. Cousin, as you know, I don't want you at my wedding, so I didn't invite you. This is 100% because I don't like you due to your behavior, which I've been told has been caused by your well-known mental illness. I went and I hunted down the original comment just to see if anyone corrected this OP on like what they're stating, and nope. After being told what was actually going on, they doubled down. Enjoy your new narration voice. Your parents are being loyal to you and saying they won't come if you aren't invited. My mother is being loyal to you and threatening to pull funding if you aren't invited. Please consider this your official invitation so my wedding can proceed with the people I do like and care about. Again, not you! In attendance. Now, with that being said, please don't come. If you decide to come, be aware if you cause any level of disruption whatsoever, law enforcement will become involved. Please also be aware multiple guests will actually be non-uniform security personnel who will have been provided your picture with full authority by me to have you removed and arrested at the first sign of any issues with your behavior. As for your mother and mine, who decided that catering to your bad behavior was more important than my wishes as the bride, please be aware that if there is any problem with behavior by Crazy Cousin, you will be cut out of my life and that of any future children I bear for the rest of eternity, since it is clear you don't prioritize me, my safety, or that of the family and appear to be addicted to the drama that Crazy Pants brings to the rest of the world. Too long didn't read, you're invited. Please don't come if you cause any problems. You will be in jail with the restraining orders on not just you, but all the people who've been enabling your terrible behavior. I am sorry to curse your ears with that, but that was a lot of fun. OP responds, I'm afraid that if I tell her something like that, she'll tell her mother, who will tell my mom, and I'll be in the same spot. I see your reading comprehension is that of 0 because this person clearly said for you to make a group chat with everyone involved. Edit, I like the idea of inviting her, but making it so she doesn't want to attend though. Maybe I can refuse her entrance if she doesn't adhere to the dress code. What a crazy thing to say. Final result, by the way. Comments ended up majority you're the asshole once her previous post was found. Update. My wedding. January 27th, 2024. I stopped replying to my Am I the Asshole post because it was clear that it was being brigaded, and people even linked the subreddit that was brigading. I keep getting harassing messages on my other post and through private messages, so I see that people are stalking my profile as well. People are making assumptions about me and my feelings towards the LGBT community and transgenderism that are irrelevant to my post about my cousin. My cousin is female and mentally ill. My cousin is not a man, and she has never told me that she thinks she's a man. I think that a woman is allowed to want to feel safe and secure at her own wedding without misogynistic slurs being thrown at her and being forced to accommodate mental illness at a celebration that is not for the mentally ill woman. I'm not going to elope, and I'm not going to cancel. I know my mother loves me, even if she also likes my cousins, and would not abandon me. My fiancé stands by me no matter what and agrees with my stance on the whole thing. I appreciate all the actual advice I've received. My cousin will be invited to placate my mother, and I've told her that I will invite her and not hire security. My fiancé's cousin will shadow her the entire time if she makes it into the venue. She will not be allowed to bring a +1 and invite her boyfriend/girlfriend. What the fuck does that mean? If she does not stick to the dress code, she will not be allowed in. The dress code is simple and already established. A formal or semi-formal dress for female guests and a suit for male guests, all within my wedding colors. It's pretty standard for weddings, so if she can't manage that, then oh well, I can tell my mother I tried to accommodate her. The fucking dumbass emoji with the squinty eyes and hearts surrounding it. I hold resentment for it in this current context. So, next update was February 9th, 2024, and user Pumpkin Spice Nation was able to preserve some of the text messages that OP had posted. These are between her and one of her cousins. Hey, when you get a chance, can you text me back? It's about my wedding. On my lunch break. We're not coming anyway. Okay, but you're all invited. I sent an invite, but I haven't heard back. I just want to make sure she got it. Then text them instead, but I don't think actual name wants a pity invite from someone like you just because you got called out for treating them like shit. Okay, but they treated me like shit for so many years. Can you blame me for being wary about her showing up? But I want to move on and fix things. I feel guilty for singling her out, and I'm trying to mend that bridge, but she won't respond. The way you're texting me doesn't show you're sorry at all. Huh? If it's because I called her instead of real name, I'm sorry. I've known her as for so long that I sometimes forget because the change is so recent. I even put her new name on the invite. You're fucking unbelievable. You're a selfish and bigoted cunt, and nobody wants to go to your shitty wedding. It's cut off, but I think I've been able to put it back together based on the tops of the letters that are visible. You treat real name like shit and misgender them constantly, and think that their family is going to put up with it? You're a bitch who's getting what she deserves. Please don't talk to me like that. I'm trying to be kind, and you're abusing me and calling me slurs for no reason. Fuck you. Enjoy your wedding with your shitbag redneck fiancé. Maybe he has enough cousin siblings so there's not too much empty room at the church. Editor's note, this post had screenshots of a conversation with her cousin, the brother of the one she hasn't invited. She deleted it shortly after posting, but I can confirm from the thumbnail that was still visible that this exchange was in it. And again, thank you to Pumpkin Spice Nation for being able to provide the full screenshots. Other commenters who saw the full post say that it confirmed that her cousin is named real name and uses they-them pronouns in it. She repeatedly dead-named and misgendered her cousin until the brother told her off. It appears that OP was using their actual dead name for her posts, which is why I try to avoid using it in the summary. I'm posting the link in case there's any way to recover this and putting it first to let you know that she's going to dead name and misgender them from here on out. How to get my 25 female cousin, 25, to attend my wedding to keep the peace. February 9th, 2024. I'll try to keep this summary short. Background, I'm getting married this spring. Around Christmas, I sent out the invites to the family I wanted there, but did not invite a female cousin of mine, because I did not get along with her when we were growing up together, and I haven't seen her in a long time. I didn't want her there, and I didn't think she would want to attend anyway. She's a bit of a tomboy. Fuck you. She's a bit of a tomboy, and I doubt she'd want to put on a dress and spend the day at a fancy party with us. But my mother is very close to her mother. They're really close in age, and both of them were contributing money to... My mother's close with her sister! But my mother is very close to her mother, they're really close in age, and both of them were contributing money to help fund my wedding for the venue I wanted and already have booked. Because I didn't invite her daughter, my aunt said she was not attending along with brothers and would not help pay for the wedding. It wasn't a lot of money, so I could eat the cost for that, but then my mom got upset that her sister and niece and nephews wouldn't attend and is threatening to not pay unless I invite and apologize for snubbing her. At first, I was really stubborn, but I didn't want to switch venues and catering this late into the planning because it would delay. So I bit the bullet and sent Rose an invite, but I never got a response from her, and I wanted to check if she at least received the invite. I wanted to show my mom that she was choosing not to go, so I reached out to one of her brothers, but he was very verbally abusive and immediately blew up at me and wouldn't even consider listening to me or trying to help me out. He also went into unprovoked and classist attacks on my fiancé. Edit, I originally had the texts on my profile to show you how he insulted me, but I just realized I didn't censor private information clearly enough. He just called me a bunch of gendered slurs and called my fiancé a redneck while implying that his family takes part in incest. How can I convince my mother to stay on my side? And how can I get to respond to me? I really do want to repair our relationship and have a smooth wedding day. I just feel like everything has been going so well, and now this year it's all crumbling at the last minute. Selected comments. Release the McCracken. LOL, is this you? Posts link to the original post. User Pumpkin Spice Nation comments further. Hey OP, did you really think that posting texts of your dead naming and misgendering your cousin were gonna help your case? I can clearly see the names you tried to block out. User not for comment in Oh yes, I didn't spot that. You could totally read them. It's real name. And user Divinity Sus Vide comments. So, did you invite your aunts, her sons, and then only snubbed? OP responds. It makes it sound worse when phrased like that. Divinity Sus Vide comments further. Sure, but she's still family, and she's the only member of the family you excluded. If your fiancé got invited to a wedding but they snubbed you, would you prefer he didn't attend? OP responds, I understand now that I was inadvertently very hurtful towards her. I just want to try and make things right now, and I feel like I'm getting stonewalled trying. Guilty Captain 3 comments, you weren't inadvertently hurtful to your cousin. You purposefully handed out invitations to everyone in the family and excluded them in person, then said they could come, but only if they wear a dress when they were trans. You misgendered them and called them mentally unstable all over your original post. You continue to dead name them. Your behavior to this person has been beyond assholish, and you should leave them alone and accept the consequences from the rest of the family. But you won't, because you're an asshole and only care that you're not getting the money you want for your wedding. User Lloyd X comments. Info, are you enforcing a gendered dress code at your wedding? Like, why do you think they'd feel like they have to wear a dress? It's 2024, and when you invite people to a wedding, many are going to show up in very casual clothes, so get ready. Opie responds, I'm just saying that Rose usually dresses very casually, even at holiday gatherings, and my wedding has a formal/semi-formal dress code. She can come in a pantsuit or something like that, but she usually wears band t-shirts and jeans, which really isn't wedding attire. I gotta sit down for that. I've never seen them wear a suit, only band t-shirts. Therefore, they don't know how to dress formally, and I don't want to invite them. So I just wanna like make this clear here. You stopped interacting them when they were 12, then you had an interaction with them when they were 25 during Christmas, where they were wearing a band t-shirt, and therefore, I've never seen them dress formally before. Just say it with your chest! Oh my god. User Witch of the Waste comments, you specifically said before during the shit heap that was your other post, gendered dress code, men in suits, women in dresses. And that was because real name, or their dead name, doesn't want to wear a dress because real name, doesn't identify as a woman. Correct. User affectionate bite 3827. Today I learned tomboys can enjoy a wedding. Opie responds, maybe tomboy is the wrong word, lol. It's just that she dresses very casually all the time, even at holiday gatherings, and I do want to have formal/semi-formal dress codes. User affectionate bite 3827 comments, do the holiday gatherings have a semi-formal/formal dress code? Look, you don't want her there, fine, but you can't undo what you did, which was hand out invitations to her family in front of her. You can invite her now, but it's obvious you're doing it to smooth over feathers, so you can't be mad if she doesn't attend. It's an invitation, not a summons after all. Opie responds, in my family, we usually dress up a little, especially for something like Easter or Christmas. User affectionate bite 3827 responds further, the acknowledgement will be sending in the card to indicate if she's coming or not. Hey, maybe if you wanted to be sure she got the invitation, you could have hand-delivered. Oh, wait! User tech rambling comments. Unfortunately, this is the problem when other people are financially contributing to things like weddings. Their money rarely comes without strings attached. You've discovered that your mom and your aunt's money comes with them having significant levels of control over your event. Opie responds, I wouldn't have booked this venue if I didn't have the fully support of my mother, who encouraged me to choose it. I'm just really upset that her support was so conditional, and that I found this out the last minute. Tech Ramblings comments further, well, you have two choices. You either grovel to your mother and accept that she's going to effectively have control over your big day, or you use this as an opportunity to take back control and replan things based on what you want, rather than what your family expect of you. OP responds, 2 days later, I took your advice and spoke to my mother this morning and she agreed to continue funding the wedding. It looks like she was bluffing. I won't forget this, but at least my wedding is back on track. Update on my wedding, February 11th, 2024. This was removed from relationship advice, but I wanted to post it to thank everyone who tried to help, so I'm going to copy and paste it. I appreciate all the people who gave me advice in my last post, even if they were unnecessarily rude about it. The day after I made my post, you're still fucking doing it, finally called me that she had gotten and rejected my invite. She was nasty about it, but she's always been a bit of a brat. She said she didn't care about my wedding and didn't want to be a part of more stupid fucking family drama, which I think is hypocritical because she always starts the drama. So she and her brothers and parents aren't attending, and my mom and some other guests are upset at that, but it's all manageable. I went to breakfast with my mom this morning, and we sat down and spoke about the wedding. I took advice from my last post and told her that if she continued to favor a cousin over her daughter, then I would never speak to her again, and she would not be invited to the rescheduled wedding. A lot was said, but she broke down and admitted that she was bluffing and didn't actually want to ruin my big day. She was just upset with how I had acted back around the holidays and hoped that her threat would be a wake-up call. I apologized and acknowledged that I didn't realize how hurtful my actions would have been perceived. She essentially raised me by herself, and I've always tried to live by the values she instilled in me, even if they aren't always popular with others. And I told her this! So the wedding should still be on course. I still have to find the money to make up for what my aunt would have paid, but I don't think it's a lot, and my fiance will probably be able to cover it. Thank you again for all the advice. Heart emoji. Update April 13th, 2024. I was supposed to get married today, but my cousin sabotaged my wedding and my fiance called it off. I can't really blame him for calling it off because it was for financial reasons, but I feel like I can't talk to him about it because I'll start saying things that I regret. I was set to get married today. It was great. I had everything planned out perfectly. My venue was on the pricey side, but both my mother and aunt said they would help pay for it to make my wedding perfect. I sent invites months ahead to make sure everyone had time to plan stuff if they needed to travel, and the drama started when I didn't invite my cousin. I grew up with her because our mothers are close and she's very mentally ill and would always have meltdowns and stuff. Around last year, she had a breakdown that everyone seems to ignore now. I'm pretty sure she has BPD, and anyone who knows someone with that will tell you how unstable and unpredictable those people are. So I decided that I didn't want a severely mentally ill woman at my wedding to risk ruining it. And also, we weren't that close to begin with and hadn't seen each other for years. I thought everyone would understand that, and it's not like she and I were very close to begin with. It caused a lot of drama and family fighting. My aunt said that if I didn't invite her daughter, then she wasn't going to contribute money, and my female cousin's brothers also said that they weren't coming. Then my mom got angry and said that she wasn't going to contribute money if I was going to discriminate against my female cousin. And then other relatives heard that I hadn't invited her because of her mental illness. I didn't even tell anyone it was because of that, just that we weren't close. But I guess she was telling them that I was being bigoted against her because of her illness. I settled things with my mom, who agreed to pay, and I even offered my cousin an invite and apologized for excluding her when I initially sent out the invites. But she brushed me off and said she didn't want to go to my wedding. But my aunt never accepted the apology and still refused to pay. I thought that was fine because my fiance could make up the difference and asked my dad if he was willing to contribute more. He divorced my mom when I was a kid and we're not super close anymore because of it, but he still offered some money. But neither of them were able to pitch in anymore, and my savings also aren't enough unless I wanted to completely wipe them out or take out a loan, and I don't think that's a very good financial choice. I want the perfect wedding, but I don't want to go into debt for it. I finally decided to fold and look for another venue, but all of the ones I wanted were booked for the rest of the year. Last month, my fiance told me that we should postpone the wedding for a year so that we find the perfect venue that we can afford. I had to call all my friends and the family members who still wanted to go and basically tell them I was too poor to get married this year. It was humiliating. All of this is because of my cousin who got pissy that I didn't want her at my wedding. And she doesn't even want to go to the wedding anyway, and did her best to turn my family against me. So I do just want to add this as like a really important thing. The only reason why I didn't actively correct OP's language to properly gender her cousin was because I wanted to show that despite OP claiming that she's learned and grown and apologized, that truly she doesn't actually give a shit because of the language she continues to use at every fucking step of the way. And if I had actively adjusted OP's language to those who only listen to audio only, they wouldn't see that aspect of the post and the language that I'm correcting. It's also why I specified between the real name as well as the... I thought that might be important to clarify. Anyways, selected comments. Ranger Alex 92. Oh boy! OP is about to get dragged harder than a small child in a gorilla enclosure. What a beautiful sentence. Successful Moment 91 comments. You're being ridiculous wanting a wedding you can't afford. Be an adult and stop listening to your family. Have the wedding with no strings attached. Rough Medium 2878 comments. I'm going to add on to this since it's the top comment. Everyone go read OP's history. User Paleontologist Top, nice, 68.9 comments. Wow, OP is transphobic. Her cousin is trans. She dead names them and is trying to force them to wear a dress to her wedding. No wonder the family turned against her. Sead 9057 comments. When you don't get your new venue, don't invite your aunt or cousin. OP responds, after this, the guest list from my side of the family is going to be a lot shorter. White Roses 7252012. Yeah, something tells me none of them will be crying about that. Thunder Buns Are Go comments. I understand wanting a nice big wedding, but if it's financially not possible, then either settle for something smaller or postpone until you have more resources. It just makes sense. However, I'll never understand the couples who run around asking family members for contributions to their weddings. If it's your day, it's your responsibility to fund it. Furthermore, paying for it yourselves stops people thinking they have an input over the guest list, decor, food, entertainment, etc. In my case, that allowed me to leave one of my brothers off the guest list and nobody could say shit about it. When asked why he wasn't there, a simple, "We don't want him to be," was enough of an answer. OP responds, I would have been fine with a smaller wedding, but it was my aunt and mother who offered to help pay in the first place during the early planning stages. This venue was actually one where I had first only shown it to my mom as the type I was looking for, but cheaper. I don't want to give too many personal details and give away where I live, but it's really nice and outdoors with a beautiful garden and big historical building for the reception. It was perfect, but I was fine for settling with a different one that had the same aesthetics. My mother was the one to encourage me booking it because she said I would have my dream wedding, and my aunt also said I could book it and she would help me make sure I could afford it. User Fangbang 6669 comments, get your money up, transphobic brokey, lamau! Fucking insert Venom dunking on Spider-Man meme here. User Blondie Monster 89 comments, this sounds more like you didn't plan very well. You didn't have another venue or look for one until the day before the actual wedding? Huh. I'm assuming you paid a deposit, otherwise the venue wasn't gonna be yours anyways. OP responds, the initial venue was only partially paid by the time I was forced to cancel it. I didn't get my deposit back. Shadow 11 Wolf 50 comments. Your comment and post history paints the full story of all the pieces you chose to leave out in hopes you could sucker people into giving you support. You're the one who needs therapy. You're the one stirring the pot and causing drama by being deliberately hateful and bigoted. This is why things keep blowing up in your face. You are the reason the wedding was sabotaged. No one else. Editor's notes. After this post got an uptick of comments, another user called Castile Fangirl 2005, a Supernatural fan, isn't that also the year it came out, popped up and started defending the OP. As other people suggested, it's possible that this was OP's main account because they seem to take people attacking OP personally and start to dead-name the cousin, though the cousin is not named in the post they're commenting on. It looks like they were suspended a few days ago, probably for the content of these comments. I don't want to copy and paste them and risk Reddit flagging my account for hate speech in it. Castile Fangirl 2005 dead-names the cousins, claims they're not really trans, defends OP, and says that she will have a new wedding while the cousin will be miserable for life. They also mock trans suicide rates and claim that the cousin deserves a lobotomy. Castile Fangirl 2005 made several other comments that just were calling people snowflakes and saying that OP, throw RA my wedding, was right. Throw RA my wedding deleted her account a day after making the post on True Off My Chest, and Castile Fangirl 2005 was suspended, marking this concluded. There is part of me that's very curious to see how many subscribers I'm going to lose for covering this post in a negative light. So, that'll be interesting to see. Also, I don't know how many of you can tell, should be pretty obvious at this point, I am itching to make a main channel video, and I definitely need to do that soon, but because I'm currently renovating my office, and I want to wait to work on a main channel video until I have that done, but I'll save the updates for the outro. In the end, it's crystal clear that OP didn't learn a damn thing. She doesn't actually give a shit about her cousin, she just wants the money for her wedding, and now she's blaming her cousin for her behavior. Because either you're completely irrational and incapable of understanding that people can change from the time that they're 12 to 25, or you're just using that piss-poor excuse to keep them out. Because after all, your fiance's family shares your values. Sounds like your mom did at one point, but maybe you should understand that, much like 12 to 25, your mother also learned how to change and grow and be a better human. It's just a shame she's a pushover and allowed you to get away with your bullshit. But oh no, your fiance, who apparently makes really good money, wasn't able to cover the rest of the costs. Uh-oh. Consequences. Why won't they come to my wedding? Why are they being so dramatic? They declined my invitation. Ugh, they won't come to my wedding, my aunt won't pay for it. I invited them and they said no. Yeah, they said no because no matter what, even after they tried to educate you, you continue to dead-name them and be an asshole. Why the hell would someone want to go to a place they're obviously not welcome and it's being done just so that way they can have their wedding paid for? They probably realize that you fucking despise them, so why the hell would they want to be there to support your happiness? You couldn't fucking understand that aspect of it. All you could see was the fact that I'm not gonna get money anymore. Fangbang put it best. Get dunked on, you transphobic brokey. Insert the Venom Spider-Man dunking meme. Alright, now we're in the outro, which now that I realize, because of how this video is structured, there's like no difference between the time gap between like the previous post and like now. So there was no reason for me not to talk about like the painting progress. Also, real quick, don't forget to use code ODDS at checkout. Y'all have been using that code like crazy, and it has been incredible. Just this morning, one of you crazy bastards bought 11 tubs, right after another crazy bastard just bought 6. So, thank you for using code ODDS at checkout. Good God. Anyways, as for the painting, it's been going. The paint's currently like in the middle of like, you know, coats right now. So like there's a lot of lines from where the roller was, you know, putting down paint, and it's just very obvious. But you know, two or three coats should do it. Got a lot of paint. I also have this nifty little paint tool that like sucks paint out of the can and like ejects it into the roller and makes the roller constantly wet so I don't have to keep dipping in the tray. That was a really good $50 I spent. And it works really well, and the coverage and rate of coverage it's been getting is incredible. The only downside is that cleaning it is a pain in the ass. It's gotta basically just run a shit ton of water through it constantly in paint cleaner. And that's not fun, but oh my god, I can put paint out so quick. Anyways, I'll catch y'all tomorrow.